All right, the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100. Now, the first thing I do want to say is you did have PPI on the day, and that data was not good. Now, tomorrow you will have CPI data, and that will be very impactful in the market regarding inflation and how we're kind of processing all of this. But it's important to note, too, Powell did come out, and Powell was pretty optimistic on the broad markets, even despite inflation numbers not being the greatest. He was like, we expected this, nothing different, and then the market kind of loved it, and we shot back up. I will say CPI will be important, but it seems like Powell has weathered every storm, and it seems like it's not going to really matter. But I'm still going to say right now, I'm being pretty cautious and patient here as well, just waiting for this action to happen. Now, on the Nasdaq, you broke above your key level. We rejected there this morning. Rejected right off the level, came down, and eventually shot back up. So I would love to see a retest of the zone, a break, a retest, and continuation. So hopefully dipping and seeing how we react to that 1837 level. Going into ES and the S&P 500, again, breaking back above your level. You would love to see a break like you're seeing, a retest and continuation, buying off of that retest. And the list goes on. Dow as well, all coming into your key levels. Dow is the only one that has not broken above the major level. If the Dow can get above 39.77, I do believe everything will run into all-time highs. I think Dow is the last piece of the puzzle and the very big metric here as well. So definitely need to be keeping very close eye on this one, right? So again, those are the biggest things right now. And again, tomorrow morning at around 7:30 for me, Central Time, 8:30 Eastern for everyone else, wherever you may be. That's what you're looking for core CPI and data coming in there. Now, you may be interested in what's happening on broad markets and what's happening with some of the memes. We'll go into that here in a second, but before we do so, we have to say a proud shout out to the sponsor.
Speaking of trading, if you've been using a basic investing app for the past few years, I highly recommend that you step it up and graduate to a better investing platform that can grow with you, which in my opinion is today's sponsor, Moomoo. Like other platforms, Moomoo has a super intuitive user interface, really easy to use, but unlike the other platforms, they have everything that you're using right at your fingertips. Whether it be your analysis tools, up-to-the-minute live data on the markets, what's happening with options data. And it's worth mentioning, while other platforms charge a premium for the quality of data that you're getting here at Moomoo, Moomoo does not charge a dime when it comes to getting live data on the charts. So for any of you that are serious about your investment journey, Moomoo's platform is worth checking out. The link is down below. It helps me out, it helps you out. If you have any questions, comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
Okay, now before we go over any of the stocks and things like that, I will say, I want to see what happens here with the inflation report. But again, if we get a dip and a bounce, and this is the biggest thing, if this happens where we dip down and we bounce off the key level, your boy Tyler is full bull. Understand that. Also, too, worth mentioning, volume has been treacherous. And when I say treacherous, I mean treacherous. Really quick here, as we look at what's happening on the SPY. Now, you had a little bit better volume today, 48 million, but you can still see volume has been tragic. We're not even getting above 50 million. You'll probably hit 50 million here in the after hours, but I wouldn't bet on it. So that's where we're at there. So we want to see volume pick up. And I have to assume after CPI, it will. But still, that's what we're looking at there. Also, the DXY, the dollar, slowly breaking down. We want to see the break of that massive level there as well at around 105 to the breakdown back towards the 200 SMA and our target down here, 104.17. If you break that level, again, full bull. Now going into the 30-year yield, again, dropping down on yields because it doesn't matter what's happening with inflation because the markets are just so bullish as we speak. Okay, so those are the big things that we're watching. You hit the break of the key level, the retest, and you're pushing back down. It looks all but guaranteed on the technical side of view that this has more downside as far as yields in the dollar, which would push to a risk on metric, and people want to get more and more investing in what stocks, right, that we're looking at. Now, also, too, I do want to give a special shout out to the other sponsor of this channel, which is Lux Algo. Luckily, they make all of our indicators, what's happening here as far as the Nasdaq. So when you look at our indicators, our volume indicator, our key levels here as well, you can get that from Lux Algo. The link is down below. Use code OD40 to get the 40% off your first purchase. Now, I want to go specifically into some of our charts here as well. Number one, SPY. So again, going into SPY, and some of this work has been done for you as well. As you can see with Lux Algo, you always ask me about it. So yeah, so you can see you're creating another support down here. Again, time and time again, this is what you want to see. When you're bullish, you want to see supports being established over and over, and that's what you're seeing. Now, the big level is coming into 524 here on SPY. If you break above 524 and mount full bull, you got to be happy, and that's just the best case scenario if that does take place. Going into Qs, you want to break back above a 446. You break above and mount 446. What are we? Yep, you got it right. You are full bull. That's what you're looking for. So you're right there. But I will say, as you get closer to your massive key levels and your targets, you have to slow down. You have to be more patient. Just like when we got really close down here to our massive level, down near 412, 416. We stopped going short. We hit the pause button because you were coming into a massive inflection point. So that's why you have to let off the brakes here, okay? So again, you look good, but we got to wait for CPI. Again, if any sign of hope comes down for inflation dropping, again, it's going to be just great for the market. I'm just going to tell you that right now. So that's what you're looking at there. Now, broad market stocks, etc. Now, let's go into a few things. Number one, we'll go over Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin below 64K. What are we? We are bearish. I've been saying it for days, if not weeks. So again, holding below 64K, can't do nothing. Get back above 64K, full bull. Yep, the story remains the same. GameStop and the rest of the memes, all you guys are interested. GameStop, again, the story continues here. When I go over GameStop, I have to show you the options chain. Again, this is what we were talking about. You went to $70 basically in the pre-market, and you kind of came back down. Let's go over the options chain here on Moomoo. So looking at the options chain, I want to be really clear. You're going to notice something. So let's go down a quick little list. So weeklies, $57. Okay, that's where every contract would be in the money. They made new contracts like we thought they would. They'll probably make some more tomorrow as well. June contracts, $55. 2025 contracts, $55. 2026 contracts go to $55. What am I looking at here, guys? The stock price right now of GME is around $52. Highs around 64. Every option contract continues to almost either be in the money or you have been in the. Every contract has been in the money over the past 24 hours. This is incredibly, incredibly bullish. And this is the case here of why I think this thing could continue running. Now, everyone's like, so what do you think about AMC? I don't care about AMC. What do you think about BlackBerry? I don't really care about BlackBerry. These are all sympathy plays to GME. So I think GME is the one that has the potential that could keep running and makes the most sense. Why? Because every single contract remains in the money. That's the case here, right? That's why you anticipate the upside. So we talked about yesterday, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today as well. So when I look at GME, I'm like, this thing is bananas. This thing is crazy, and it doesn't look like it wants to stop. Your key level is around $48. You held that level. You get back above 64. I think you're running towards 86. That's my target, what I'd be looking at there on GameStop. Now, the rest of the broad market. Now, let's talk about semiconductors. I've been talking a lot about these. Now, I've talked about NVIDIA. I said above 906, you are bullish, right? We've said it a lot. Above 904, you look incredibly, incredibly bullish here, okay? So, again, you mount that level. You push up today to like 916. Good, decent trade. The big trade here was AVGO for myself. I mentioned this out in Discord today. We had a really nice trade. You mounted above the 1355 level. You broke into target 113.7. Now you're pushing into 1391. Again, we go to the 4-hour chart, look at this level here. You have a level created by Lux Algo, and you can also see that you're just breaking up. I wish I could just show you what it looked like before this candle was here, but it was a clean break pushing up 1391. Above 1391, I think there's a real possibility you push an all-time highs, and this breaks out towards 1500. AVGO is a must-watch. I've been saying it. But on the broad market, SMH, we talked about the key level down here at around 218. I've been telling you guys the break and the retest was major, major key. Once you broke and retested, this thing was off to the races. Again, NVIDIA earnings are coming in very soon. I do think NVIDIA is going to beat, and I think semiconductors will have another nice run ahead of them. ARM has been another nice play as well. I told you about this level yesterday as well, breaking back above 115. This is one of the biggest opportunities as far as semiconductors, in my opinion. So you're breaking above your level. You sat there all day. You mounted your level at 115, 115.5. I don't know what else to say, guys. You look incredible, okay? You hold 115.5. I think you're very bullish. I'd be waiting for stops, like if you actually hold below 115.5. But again, I think ARM could go bananas. I think you could shoot back into 122, maybe even back into 130. So again, I like ARM. Semiconductors, strongest area of the market. I think they have the most potential. I think semiconductors have been cooling off for a while. That's the best part about this as well. Names like Apple have slowed down. Again, you got to 187 and you kind of held that on the day. I think your next target's around 190. Once you get above 190, you're targeting 200 in all-time highs. But again, Apple slow, steady, wins the race. We traded it yesterday, made a lot of money, but I didn't trade it today really at all. Microsoft, I don't know what it's doing, to be honest. I don't. It's moving so slow. It's moving like my grandma after she had her, her new hip installed, right? This thing is ridiculous. So again, not super interested. Above 115, I do like it to the upside, but again, I don't know what we're doing. If we ever break above 420, maybe I'll get back into it, but until then, I am not interested. Okay, Meta, you're just ranging in our range. You got back above 470 or 469. You do look good back into 473. But again, you're kind of just ranging here. We had some good trades. I'm not looking to overtrade it or anything crazy there. Home Depot, I do want to talk about this. I've been talking about this. I thought Home Depot would dip from PPI and CPI, okay? And you did. And guess where you dipped down to? Let's turn it on. The 200 SMA right here, and you held it. If Home Depot holds above the 200 SMA, I'm extremely bullish. I think longer dated contracts will absolutely print. And you had earnings. What day was this? Was this today? This was today. Yeah. So you actually dip down, bounce back up. They're going to be good. They're going to continue to beat. They're going to continue to be awesome. I love what Home Depot is doing. Mortgage rates, everything like that will benefit what's happening with Home Depot. Again, do what you want with that. It's one of my favorite names. Keep it at the top of your list. Big fan. Robinhood long term, again, above 19.4, I think you break out. But again, still like Robinhood here. Think it's fine. So these are all my favorite names. Adobe did break back below the 200 SMA there on the weekly. That is a little bit scary. You get back above that, I would be willing to go long. You had a good trade there from 480 back into 490. But again, you just broke down on the day, so that is worth mentioning. But again, back above 480, 481, I do like it a lot to the upside. That's what I'd be watching. Those are my favorite names. If you have questions, comment down below. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one, traders.